Hey, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Life Coaching with MDR. I hope you guys have been having a good week. If not, I hope it gets better. Just remember that it's a bad day, a bad week, not a bad life. Sometimes we have to remember that one thing, that is not a bad life. And it's sometimes it's hard because it feels like, ooh, it's a bad life. Well, if it's one thing after another, what's the same? When it rains, it pours. But anyway, we're not focusing on the bad stuff today. What I want to talk to you guys about is the power of having peace and the power of letting things go. It's so hard sometimes to let things go because people, for one, have this innate mindset that you take everything, that you weak, that you don't speak up for yourself. I've heard plenty of times in my life, you ain't say nothing. That's because you ain't say anything. Not realizing, those people wasn't realizing in those moments, I was practicing my peace. I was not allowing myself to get caught up in other people's storms. And people have that I call it seed planters. That ability to plant seeds that you didn't do enough, that you didn't say enough, you wasn't strong enough in that moment to say something. Oh my gosh, why my herbal lay that right there? Okay, this is driving me crazy. But let people feel however they want to feel, okay? And you keep your peace. And you keep your power of letting things go. Because it's hard. It's really, really hard to ignore the ignorance of other people. And when I say the ignorance of other people, that's exactly what I mean. Ignorant means that lack knowledge, right? So people will say, for example, someone came for you and the whole room turn around to see what your response is going to be, and you continue to type, unbothered, not worried, not entertaining, and then somebody says, I guess they won then, and you hear them say that, and in your mind you like, I will tell you something, but you're practicing your peace. And you're practicing your power of letting things go. And on the outside looking in, other people are more bothered that you didn't say anything in that moment. Girl, why you didn't say nothing? Man, why you let him talk to you like that? Because everything doesn't deserve your rebuttal. Everything doesn't deserve your time and your entertaining it. And you have to stop feeling like you obligated to speak up because somebody else would have. Every time somebody says something to them, they got to come back. They got something they need to say. You're not them. If that's how they want to roll, that's on them. What we trying to do is practice peace and the power of letting things go. And we can't be worried about what other people feel like we should have said. Forget them. Forget what their thoughts are and their mindset is. Worry about your mindset. Excuse me. With this medicine I'm on, I burp a lot. It's annoying to myself. Oh my gosh. It drives me up the wall like, please, can we stop the burping? But I can't stop it. It's a side effect of my medicine, and that's just a transparent moment. I apologize. I do have my manners. My mother did raise me correctly. So, you have to practice your power of peace and not be worried about what the next person feels like you should have did in that moment. Okay? And then you have to practice your power of letting things go. Woosah. Relax, relate, release. to all the people who grew up watching Different World like me. And sometimes letting go is really hard to do. Because on one side, you're like pondering, why did they do you like that? I need some answers. I need some clarification. I want to know why they chose to treat me like that. Why they chose to say what they said. Why did they play me? Why didn't they invite me? Why? Right, you have all these whys going on in your brain. But you have to calm those whys and say, I don't need to know. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to wash my hands of it. And I'm going to move on. And it takes true power to do that. It takes true power to still speak to somebody that you know have wronged you. It takes true power to still love on somebody who you know has hurt you, cheated, stolen from you, lied on you, discussed you harshly, friend in your face and a foe behind your back, saying they praying for you, but they're actually praying, P-R-E-Y, on you instead of P-R-A-Y, for you. So it takes true power, and you have to tap into that power because you're powerful. Your mind is so powerful. What you tell your mind to do, it can do. If you determine to run a 5K marathon, if you start with your mindset, if you start changing your mindset, saying, I'm going to get up and I'm going to practice running, just running my fastest and my hardest for 30 seconds. Monday, that's what you do. Okay, I did that Monday and Tuesday. So on Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to run my fastest and hardest on Wednesday and Thursday for 45 seconds. Bam, I did that. Okay, Friday and Saturday, I'm going to run my fastest and hardest for a minute. And guess what? Because you were determined to do it, you got it done. That's all it takes. You have to be determined to keep your peace. And you have to be determined to have your power to let things go. You have to let things roll off your back. And if people want to see you as weak, so be it. That ain't for you to understand or for you to put yourself under a microscope to always be explaining why you did what you did. Forget them people. Let them folks feel however they need to feel about you. Don't be concerned about the opinions of others when you know who you are. You have to know who you are first of all. And after you figure out who you are, you have to be strong enough to withstand the opinions of other people. Man, the things that people think about me that I'm not concerned about, I don't care. That's on them. Because for one, people are never strong enough to address you about how they feel about you. They want to tell everybody else. They'll discuss you with the world before they tell you. Isn't that crazy? They'll tell their friends, they'll tell their co-workers, girl, they'll tell their mama, they'll tell their daddy, they'll tell their siblings, they'll tell everybody in the world, but they won't text you, they won't call you, they won't inbox you, they won't DM you, they won't email you and say, hey, this is how I feel about you. And if people want to be cowards, I don't have time to be worried about people that's being cowards. Grown people have conversations. And so you have to get over the fact that people have all these opinions about you. That's life. People always gonna have an opinion about you, but it's not about what somebody's opinion is about you. It's what your opinion is about yourself. You set the tone for who you are. And once you determine what that is, don't be shaken about what other people think. Because there's always going to be some kind of thought or inclination of what somebody else feels. And sometimes people will tell you what other people have thought about you. And sometimes it isn't pleasant to hear. But that's okay. You have to know that within yourself, I'm bad. I'm great. I'm sufficient. I'm confident. I'm greatness. I'm phenomenal. I'm exceptional. And once you start applying those affirmations to your life, then that's when you start to see the affirmations that you speak come to pass. But it starts with you. And you have to have your peace and your ability to let things go, because that determines self-control in situations. I experienced a situation today and I was like, for real? I thought we was cool. I thought we was good people. Like, wow, you came for me. And instead of having a rebuttal in that moment, I kept my peace. I examined what it was and I let it go. Because I didn't have any time to be stressing about how people move. When people start to move funny, move out their way. People know exactly what they're doing. You don't have time to always tell people, oh, you did this and I didn't appreciate this, because trust me, they know what they did. They don't need you to remind them. They know exactly what they're doing when they're doing it. And oftentimes people are apologizing not because they feel sorry, but because they got caught. So, it is what it is on that. Keep your peace. Keep your power of letting things go. Don't be worried about the opinions of others. Stay focused on who you are as a person and continue to get the wins in life. And the wins in life isn't always materialistic things. We have to get off this. The more I get means I've arrived. That means really nothing. That means really nothing, because people can have $1 million in the bank and have no peace and go home and commit suicide. And that's why we've seen cases of people not wanting to be here anymore, but have the magnitude to live this immaculate life. Excuse me. So, that having peace is so valuable. You can't put money on your peace. Your peace doesn't have a price tag. And your ability to let things go is so priceless. Because if you can tap into that, it'll stop your reaction to everything that bothers you. You'll even stop being bothered by certain things. And it won't happen overnight. These aren't things that you just say, oh, I'm going to do, and it begins to happen. You have to put it in motion. You have to put it in practice. These are things you have to practice along the way, because life is like a wave. And sometimes it's real gentle. And sometimes that thing will come at you, and you like, whoa, I was having a good day. Here they come with this. Have some self-control with how you react to things. Have some self-control with your mouth and your actions and your thoughts. As soon as those negative thoughts that you've always entertained pop up in your mind, change them. No, that's not what it was. Be optimistic. The same way you'll want somebody to look at you and to be optimistic about how you approach them or approach a situation, do that for someone else. Did they really mean that? No, maybe they didn't mean it like that. And if you really have a question about it, stop talking about them with other people and talk to them. It's so ironic that grown people can't have conversations with people who they have thought have done something to them. but they'll tell everybody else. And this person is clueless. Or they may know only because somebody else told them, but not the person that has an issue with them. I don't get that. But anyway, have a good rest of your night. I hope tomorrow is great and amazing. And remember, if you do run into an obstacle, it's okay. We are learning to jump hurdles this season in our life. We're learning to fly even when it's raining outside. We're learning to dance in puddles. We're learning to look past faults because we've asked God to look past ours. We aren't perfect. We don't live in a glass house. But we are reaching new strides in this season because we want more in this life while we have life. That's the point of this channel. To have a reason to grow and a desire to grow and find what's inside of you that you want to change. We can't keep doing the same old things and saying, I'm sorry. Because people stop believing in that sorry and start thinking you're sorry. That you're just a sorry person. And nobody wants to be looked at as a sorry person. You shouldn't even want to be like that. Malicious, manipulative, deceptive. That ain't cool. Who wants to be attached to somebody with that kind of rap sheet? Okay, so let's start really thinking about those things that we need to change and really changing the things that we need to change. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for tuning in to Life Coaching with MDR. Come back again.